Well,
But
you have a website too, right?
Yeah, my
Dr.
blog,
Roy
my
Spencer.
blog. Yeah, drroyspencer.com.
Yeah, drroyspencer.com. I thought that was great because you turned it right around. You had the evidence from prior years that they had done exactly that. And in fact, one of the quotes is, the person who wrote it explains why denier is applicable as pertains to the Holocaust. And so you turned it right back around on them. Thank you so much. I love it when that happens. Honestly, the biggest problem with global warming is that its attempt to shut down coal, which is our cheapest form of energy. And that is an affliction on the poor people. That's all that is. So they are attacking poverty, and not in a good way. All right, I've got to take a break, but thank you so much, Dr. Roy Spencer, for coming on. You can go find him at drroyspencer.com, and I'll be back after a quick break. Stay tuned.
This is the Sam Sorbo Show.
For more information on this and other great talk programs, go to talkradionetwork.com.
You make the decision to buy the home, then you're faced with what's next. What do we do?
We started at Realtor.com.
Realtor.com gave us a lot more current information.
Listings are pulled directly from the MLS every 15 minutes.
Once you've gone through all of that, the Realtor makes it happen.
We worked with the Realtor that really knew the area.
And he knew the market.
When you have someone who has the expertise, it makes it so much easier.
Realtor.com and Realtors. Together, we make home happen. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Hi, I'm Kevin Sorbo. Now, you may know me from my recent movie, God's Not Dead, but I want to tell you about a phenomenal book my wife, Sam, co-wrote that is really changing people's lives. It's called The Answer, Proof of God in Heaven. The Answer is an easy-to-read explanation of God's existence in the universe. Like every book has an author, your life also has a creator. Read The Answer, Proof of God in Heaven, to discover an understanding and resilient knowledge of God. The Answer, Proof of God in Heaven, at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Audible.com.
Are you tired of feeling sluggish? GetTheT.com. Are you wanting help with your health? Thousands and thousands of people have experienced incredible results with Life Change Tea. And right now, if you buy 3 packages of tea, you get 1 for free. Buy 3, get 1 free. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or call us at 928-308-0408. 928-308-0408. If you want to change your life for the better, order now at GetTheT.com.
You've walked through 18 open houses. Your feet hurt and your head is buzzing. Living in a van is starting to sound strangely appealing. But then you hear it. The sound of hope. Of Zillow. You glance at your phone to see a 3-bedroom Craftsman in the right school district. It's perfect, and it just showed up on your phone. Like magic. So sign up for mobile alerts, and we'll send you homes that fit your criteria when they hit the market. And to think, you wanted to live in a van. Zillow. Find your way home.
Hi, this is Jerry Doyle. A few months ago, I asked business owners and listeners to help keep free speech alive across America on great stations just like this one. I called out. You responded. Businesses across the country became advertisers in many of the programs you listen to every day. To those business owners, I say thank you. And to the listeners who supported by buying their products and services, I say thank you as well for support of these courageous businesses. As a listener, to continue to buy from the businesses who advertise on this radio station, and if you're a business owner, get involved. Be an advertiser and reach the customers you need to reach. To find out more on how you can advertise on my show or others on this station, get involved now by calling 877-474-6605, 877-474-6605. Reach my audience today by calling 877-474-6605.
Buying gold to protect your wealth is a big decision. Who you buy from is a bigger decision. Desert Gold Exchange has better prices, better service. Desert Gold Exchange will work hard to get you the most gold and silver for the lowest price. Call now, 888-852-4343. Desert Gold Exchange is a family-owned and operated company. They take the time to listen to your questions and goals to figure out which type of gold and silver is best for your portfolio or IRA. The economy is a scary place right now, so please take the time to call my friends at DGE at 888-852-4343 to find out how to protect your financial future from what lies ahead. Call 888-852-4343 or visit dgegold.com. That's 888-852-4343 or click dgegold.com and make sure you tell them you heard it on the radio for a special offer. Remember, prepare today to prosper tomorrow.
Sam Sorbo Show.
Welcome back. So, first of all, 800-876-4123 is the number if you want to call in and weigh in on anything that I talk about. But I have to talk about this article that I just read on Bloomberg Business. City economist says it might be time to abolish cash. Now, this is a little bit off-putting to me because I've read the book of Revelations. I'm sorry, I have to say this. And that thing people will be able to buy and sell with a number. Well, we're kind of there already, but to abolish cash would really just sort of put the nail in that coffin. So they have this economist, Willem Buter. I'm going to mispronounce his name, but Willem Buter. He looks at this idea of interest rates. And he says, you know, the way to stimulate the economy is you lower the interest rates for money, and that means people will save less money and spend more money, which will, or they can borrow money, right, more readily, and that will allow for a more vibrant economy. But he argues that there is something known as the effective lower bound, or the ELB, on nominal interest rates, meaning he has a graph here, which honestly, okay, I'm not an economist. I'm looking at this. There's something that's called a Taylor rule. And he says if you had applied the Taylor rule, then you would have seen Federal Reserve rates as low as negative 6%, meaning the government you would pay to keep your money in the bank, in other words, which would basically force people to just hold cash, because holding cash would be preferable to paying for it to sit in a bank. I mean, I know I don't like to pay bank fees. This would be even worse than bank fees. This would be like parking money. To park your money there, you'd be paying parking fees. So, but when I thought about that, it never occurred to me that the Federal Reserve might lower interest rates as low as 6%. I don't think they ever would. But but he argues that if they had lowered, we would have seen a much more robust recovery. Well, we've seen a very poor recovery, the way that it is. And by the way, the tax haul for the U.S. government is the greatest that it's ever been, in the billions of dollars. It's the greatest. So the government's making money. The government's doing really well. How are you doing, by the way? How's that working out for you? I'm just saying. So Buter, aware that this idea was probably controversial, he goes to the effort of listing the disadvantages of abolishing cash. This is called erecting a straw man, where you put up the arguments that your opponent might make, but you put up, of course, his weakest arguments. Then you shoot him down and say, see how weak your arguments are? So his arguments against abolishing cash, the first one is, well, it's a big change. People don't like change. The second one is, well, currency remains high among the poor and some older people. And so he suggests that we should maybe keep just low denomination cash, $5 bills and lower. He says senior central banks and governments would lose seigniorage revenue. Abolishing currency would inevitably be associated with a loss of privacy, you think? And create risks of excessive intrusion by the government. And then switching exclusively to electronic payments may create new security and operational risks. Well, there he's hit on something. But he dismisses all of those in turn, apparently. And therefore he finishes with, in summary, we therefore conclude that the arguments against abolishing currency seem rather weak. It's funny. It's funny. I want this outcome. This is what I call leading from behind. You pick your outcome, and then you just you tailor all of your arguments to fit the outcome. You tailor all of the opponent's arguments to fit your outcome. It's brilliant. If only it were true. All right, quick break here. I'll be back after a break. Stay tuned.
This is the Sam Sorbo Show.
How healthy are you? Check your own health without a doctor. Save time and money with My Own Health Advisor. It's a do-it-yourself online health checkup to find out your risk of having a heart attack, diabetes, or cancer. Avoid a surprise illness or future medical bills now before it's too late. Get My Own Health Advisor at 877-HOW-ARE-YOU.
No need for insurance or a long wait for a doctor's visit. You, your family, or employees can now get your own lab tests online to find out if they are normal, borderline, or abnormal. Check your own health today with My Own Health Advisor for only $29.99.
It helps you choose your lab tests, find your nearest patient lab center, and then explains your lab results online or mobile device. Join millions to save your health, time, and money. Get My Own Health Advisor at 877-HOW-ARE-YOU.
If needed, U.S. licensed nurses and doctors are ready by phone or online 24/7 with pharmacy pickup or a mail order prescription. Call now 877-HOW, the letter R-Y-O-U, or visit myownhealthadvisor.com.
It may seem that there's nothing you can do about stress, but you can instantly have more control than you might think. Roy Masters shows you how to conquer stress by taking charge of your thoughts, emotions, anxieties, and changing the way you react to problems. Do you realize that every time you think a negative thought, your body reacts as if it were in the grip of an actual tension-filled situation? Well, there is an antidote. Download the ebook, The Secret Power of Words by Roy Masters on Kindle and Amazon.com. William Wolfe says this book is perhaps the single most dynamic weapon available to counter the tremendously destructive influences of the raging cultural revolution sweeping the world. Download the ebook now at Amazon.com or read the ebook Meaning and Happiness, Overcoming Stress, Fear, and Pain. Download at Amazon.com on Kindle. In fact, there are many more titles by Roy Masters available for instant download right now at Amazon.com. Just search Roy Masters on Kindle and Amazon.
If you're considering putting hardwood, bamboo, or laminate floors in your home, there's only one thing you need: a free Lumber Liquidators catalog. Lumber Liquidators has unbeatable prices and the best selection of high-quality flooring anywhere. Call 800-258-5079 for your free catalog. It's filled with great tips, ideas, and deals on hardwood, bamboo, and laminate floors. We buy direct from the mills, so you get the best quality at incredibly low prices. The Hardwood Floor Hotline is open 24/7 at 800-258-5079 to request your free catalog and see for yourself how we can help you get that gorgeous new floor you've been dreaming of. Hardwood floors add beauty and value to your home. So call 800-258-5079 today and we'll rush you your free catalog. Get the hardwood floor you've always wanted for prices you never thought possible. But you must call now. Call 800-258-5079. That's 800-258-5079. Again, 800-258-5079.
If you suffer from excruciating back pain and sciatica, pay careful attention. According to a study in the medical journal Spine, back surgeries to alleviate pain frequently backfire, leaving patients in more pain than before the surgery. A second study from the University of Cincinnati's College of Medicine provides clear evidence that 74% of surgeries for the back fail. But there is a solution and an end to your suffering. Dr. Fernando Ranella, he's a medical doctor and the founder of the Center for Back Pain Management, where he specializes in the elimination of back pain and sciatica quickly, easily, without surgery or any pain medication whatsoever. Dr. Ranella accepts Medicare and most insurance. He has a location in Delray and one in Fort Lauderdale. Call 561-819-6325. That's 561-819-6325.
Talk 1470 WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. AM 1470 WNN. Listen live at wwnnradio.com and like us on Facebook. Search AM 1470 WWNN.
I'm working 2 jobs and my husband works too.
My kids go to school with your kids. I sit next to you at PTA meetings. We live right next door. We've been neighbors for years. You know my family and me pretty well, but here's one thing you don't know. I'm one out of every 6 Americans, and my family is struggling with hunger. Like you, we believe in this country. What's hard to believe is in the land of milk and honey, how many hardworking Americans have to choose between paying bills and feeding their families. This is a problem with a solution. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for those around you quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
What you want to know. What you need to know. Talk 1470. WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to The Gift of Life with Gregg. I'm your host, Gregg Francis, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Barry Kaplan. We save lives, plain and simple. Have you known someone stricken with leukemia? Has a family member of yours suffered from lymphoma? Then turn up your dial. This show is for you. We are the gift providing a second life. We are the gift of life. Since 1999, we've saved over 2,700 lives. For many patients with blood cancer, bone marrow donation is often their last hope, and that's where we come in. We try hard at what we do, but we will never be satisfied until we can say, one day, we found a match anytime, anywhere, for anyone. That's the Gift of Life way. So now we have the scissors, we've opened the box, and now it's time to unwrap the Gift of Life.
Hello, everyone, and a happy April 21st, 2015. Welcome to The Gift of Life with Gregg. I do hope last week that you did get your taxes in and or file an extension. That was our public service announcement. So if you haven't, shame on you, because at Gift of Life, we gave you the warning. Last week's show, it's going to be tough to beat. Really, really great show for a few reasons. Number one, it featured Anthony Rumble Johnson, currently ranked number 1 in UFC's light heavyweight division. And he's on his way to his title fight in Las Vegas on May the 23rd against John Jones. Rumble, your Gift of Life family is going to be rooting for you. We expect you to win. I don't want it to go more than 1 round. Also, last week's show featured a father by the name of Mario Morales. A father looking for a bone marrow match for his 14-year-old son, Louis. The Morales family is located in Boca Raton. It was a very inspiring show. A father came on to ask for help for his son. His son's in dire need of a bone marrow transplant. It hit close to home to me. As I've told you before, I have 2 boys, one 12 and one 8. We have to help this father save his son's life. It could be done. He's of Honduran and Eastern European Jewish descent. If you're listening to the show, 14-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, they don't sign up for this. They don't sign up for cancer. And we could help. That's why we do every week. If you're interested in getting involved, if you want to swab, if you want to run a drive, if you want to contribute financially, please call up 1-800-9-MARROW. For quantitative folks, as it was recently tax day, that's 1-800-962-7769. See how you could get involved. See what it takes, but we could do it together. We could save these lives. Children do not have to needlessly die because there's not a match. There's too many people in the world that makes it statistically possible so everybody can live. We can make a difference. I expect everybody to get involved and help. This was a plea from a father. This was a plea for a man. This was a plea to help somebody's son. He's local. If you're in Boca Raton, where it's a little overcast today, Call up our office. You're probably inside. Again, 1-800-9-MARROW. If you want to call us on the show today, 1-888-565-1470. Again, that's 1-888-565-1470. Let's save Lewis. For those of you who tuned in last show, and probably the last 36 for that matter, you know that September is Blood Cancer Awareness Month. I know it's April. In fact, the boys of summer are back. Go Yankees. They lost a tough one last night, 2-1. Don't laugh, Frederick. It was a real good game. They came back in the 8th inning, but the Yankees are 6-7. I see some good things out of their pitching. Enough of the baseball talk. Only creating Blood Cancer Awareness 1 month will not solve the epidemic. So we have to continue to spread the word. We ask our listeners to do the same. Pacific Islanders are having a tough time. Hispanic people are underrepresented. Asian people underrepresented. African American people underrepresented. Our Haitian American friends underrepresented. I had discussions with some minority groups as recently as yesterday, and they're affected, and they're suffering the consequences of people not swabbing. And what does suffering the consequences mean? It means that people are dying unnecessarily. Why are they dying? Because people are not getting involved. Why are they not getting involved? Because they don't have the knowledge of knowing what to do. That's where Gift of Life comes in. Gift of Life will take you along every step of the way. All you have to do is dial 1-800-9-MARROW. Patients suffering from these aforementioned ethnicities will find a match less than 50% of the time. That means that more than 50% of the time, patients of these aforementioned ethnicities will perish. There's no need for that. It's unacceptable. We have to work harder. If you're interested, I want you to please call John or Corey today at 1-800-9-MARROW. They're sitting waiting for your calls, and they're going to show you how to get involved. For those of you who have been our supporters this season, welcome back, and we thank you for all that you've done to spread awareness and transpire action for our show and, more importantly, for our cause. Because of you, we are ranked the #1 radio show on 1470 WWNN, our flagship station, as well as being the #1 bone marrow radio show worldwide. I never thought that would be on my resume, Frederick and Valerie, but we host the #1 rated bone marrow radio show. As previously mentioned, thanks to our supporters, our show is now syndicated in 6 cities. So more awareness, more people swabbing, more contributions, and the culmination of all of our help will equal more lives being saved. In 2014 alone, Gift of Life was responsible for saving 130 lives. Not only the lives of the patients, but their loved ones and their families, bringing our total to date to about 3,000. Now take a step back and think about that. Picture 3,000 people in a room. You probably can't fit them all in one room, but it's an arena. Picture 3,000 people. That's how many people Gift of Life has saved over the past 16 years. Congratulations, team at 800 Yamato Road, Boca Raton, Florida. And Frederick, this one goes out to you, 33431. And it's really an incredible effort. Team, our supporters, our ambassadors, our volunteers, we couldn't do it without a collaborative effort. As we start anew in 2015, I want to touch upon Arlene Feinberg, the matriarch of Gift of Life, who unfortunately passed away in January of 2014. Arlene had a vision while she was searching for her son Jay, when they tested over 60,000 people over a 4-year journey until Jay found his match. Her vision was to find a match anytime, anywhere, for anyone that is suffering from blood cancer. Let's make Arlene's vision Arlene's reality. That's the mantra for the 2015 Gift of Life Gregg Show, and it's the mantra for Gift of Life Bone Marrow Foundation. For people who are tuning in for the first time, welcome on the train. We're so glad that you could join us for Gift of Life with Gregg. I'm Gregg Francis, and welcome to our show, and it's your show. We encourage all of our listeners to call in at any time today at 1-888-565-1470. Again, that's 1-888-565-1470. We broadcast live from Boca Raton, where it's a little overcast today. About 90 degrees. The humidity is just getting rough, but after the winter they had in the Northeast, we don't have any right to complain. But every Tuesday we're here from 4 to 5 p.m. on WWNN 1470. Why do we do what we do? We're here to spread awareness about the Gift of Life Bone Marrow Foundation, a life-saving nonprofit that gives patients like our 7-year-old friend Sammy, our 14-year-old friend Lewis, whom I saw recently, a second chance at life. We want to remind everyone of how special life is and how every day of health and happiness is a true gift of life. Please take stock of what I'm saying. It's not something that you should take for granted. Every day of health and happiness is a true gift of life. Unfortunately, we see people fighting that struggle each and every day. Before I go any further, I have to thank my own gifts of life, which is a staple of this show. People who make me smile every day and remind me of how lucky I am. To undoubtedly my biggest fan, my mom, Katie, who's, I believe, listening in Lake Worth today. Mom, thank you. I love you. Aunt Miriam, if you're listening with Jerry, I hope everything is going well and I will see you soon. To my biggest Maryland fans, hello and thank you, Grandma Margie, who's listening right outside of the Baltimore area. And my other biggest Maryland fan, who's closer to D.C. area in Rockville, Maryland, the chairman of our board, Billy Beagle, who could represent Gift of Life in 5 cities and 2 countries all within 1 week. And last but not least, to my gifts of life, my 2 boys, Patrick, who's 8. Patrick, great base hit up the middle on Saturday. Really hit the ball on the screws. And Nicholas, who's 12, Nick and I this weekend went to see Paul Blart, Mall Cop. Whatever it was, save your money. It wasn't really... I would give it 1 star, but we had a good time. It's always great to do things. I love doing things with the boys. As mentioned, our co-host for 2015 is my dear friend Marty Freund. Unfortunately, Marty cannot be here today as she's getting ready for our first annual Boston Walk that's going to take place in Chestnut Hill. Marty stewards all the walks that we have, which includes Boca Raton, New York, New Jersey, the capital region of Maryland, the District of Columbia, and Virginia, and as we mentioned before, Massachusetts, which is coming up this Sunday. She also brings a wealth of experience for Gift of Life with community relations and community engagement. So in her place today, I have a dear friend that we used to do a sports show together, which was First and Goal with Gregg and Freddie J. And my dear assistant Valerie, who I'm happy is on set today. But to begin, Frederick, tell us about the exciting news that's coming up on Sunday.
Well, as you mentioned before, Greg, I just want to say thank you for having me on today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Frederick.
And like you mentioned before, we are having a walk in Boston on Sunday, April 26th. And it's in Chestnut Hill, as you mentioned, Boston, Massachusetts. We are going to start bright and early. 8:30 is registration. There's a welcome ceremony by yours truly, Greg Francis. That starts at 9:30.
That's reason enough to go there.
That's the only reason to go there right now.
Well, no.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
And the real reason that we're there, it starts at 9:45, which is for the donor and the recipient, which they'll meet for the first time.
And it's a student that actually swabbed at Boston College. And as everyone knows, in Chestnut Hill, that's right outside of where Boston College is. We have an ambassador that works for us that goes to Boston College. But most importantly, Frederick, the recipient, is 4 years old. So you see the culmination of all the work that goes on behind the scenes. As I said in my opening monologue, 14-year-olds, 7-year-olds, nobody signs up to have cancer. But when you see that it's 4 years old and the parents struggling, the grandparents struggling, not worrying about if they're going to dance or soccer practice, but going for the next oncologist appointment, people don't sign up for it. But that's where Gift of Life comes in, and we were able to make this match happen.
Exactly. And, I did get to go to a walk last year in D.C. It's probably the most interesting kind of event that you'll go to throughout your whole life. It's a roller coaster of emotions. For me, particularly, I felt that it was a moment that you probably will never see in your life. I got to see a woman who has 2 kids, say a speech on behalf of her family, on behalf of her friends, and she was just so grateful. I appreciate everything that I learned that weekend, and I want everyone to go out there and hopefully they'll learn something too.
You made a great point. This is our first annual Boston Walk. We have a lot of representation in the Boston area. Again, this whole process, in this case with the donor recipient, culminated in Boston College, which is in Chestnut Hill. And you see the kindness of the human spirit. The person that donated never knew or never would know at the time if they would ever meet. But they went ahead and donated anyway just because it's the right thing to do to save somebody's life. And Fred, if I could reference the walk that you went to, which was in our capital region, it was a very cold day by Florida standards. It was about 38 degrees that morning. And what was very heartfelt, I believe, for the both of us, and this was your first indoctrination, I believe, in seeing a patient and a recipient meet. The patient just got over beating thyroid cancer. Then all of a sudden she gets smacked again with leukemia. She has 2 kids on the spectrum that are going to need adult supervision for their whole lives. She wasn't worrying about herself getting better, but more who's going to look after my children if, God forbid, I go. A 23-year-old young man from Colorado stepped up, donated, came in with his mother and met Jenny, the recipient, and hopefully they're going to be partners for life. But it was just such a wonderful event. And afterwards, Fred, you and I guess we were supposed to be out of eyeshot, witnessed the family hugging. And they didn't do it for the cameras. They didn't do it for pomp and circumstance. I had tears running down my face like a baby because I felt like after all they endured, they knew that they finally made it. And that's the emotion that comes out of these walks, which are different from most other 5Ks. In this case, it's a certified 5K, so if you want to go out and run and carb up beforehand the night before with your pasta, it's a good thing also, but it's really a great event, not only to meet the life-saving couple, but also to get our word out and to get more people involved. It really is a beautiful event. There hasn't been one walk that I didn't come away with something different. I loved each and every one. I've met some wonderful people as a result and feel more blessed as a result. So, Fred, when does the actual walk take place?
The actual walk starts at 10 a.m. after the speeches by the donor and the recipient. And then after the 5K, there's a little bit of celebration going on, some dancing, music. Obviously, there's going to be some food to re-energize after the long run. So it's going to be a good time afterwards.
I can't wait, and I'm looking forward. I'm going out to dinner on Saturday night with the recipient, and it's going to be a great time. I love meeting families, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. So if you're listening in Boston proper or any suburbs around, please head out. Fred, it's April the 26th.
April 26th, Sunday morning, bright and early.
At the Chestnut Hill?
Chestnut Hill, Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. We're putting a new spin. We're putting a new spin on our show, and this one is exciting because many people in between shows said, we put out some surveys, and it's what could we do differently on Gift of Life with Gregg? And people want to hear some pop news because we have a college crowd. We're very college oriented in terms of getting high availability donors. And this segment is going to be called Valerie's News, and Valerie's going to let us know what's the upcoming hottest and greatest in pop culture right now. So my dear assistant, more importantly, my dear friend, Valerie Hernandez.
Thank you, Greg. Before I get into my celebrity news, anybody in the Boston area, there's really no way to describe the emotions, and it definitely validates why we do what we do. So if you are in the area, and even if you're not, it's definitely worth the trip. Now for celebrity news, unfortunately, it's breakup season in Hollywood.
Oh, no.
Yes, I know. I'm sure Freddie over here is very happy now that Ariana Grande is single.
And she's a Boca. She's a Boca native.
Boca native.
So if she's out there listening, I'm available for her.
Ariana Grande and Big Sean have split up. Zed and Selena Gomez have split up, and Patrick and Miley Cyrus have split up. So
It sounds like Splitsville. So what happened with? So we'll go first. What happened with Ariana and Big Sean?
They want to have their privacy respected, but as celebrities, we all know that doesn't happen. Apparently, there were some trust issues involved, and what they reported to their fans was that they have conflicting schedules.
Oh, that's too bad. Fred, she's on the market again, and I've always known that you sing a lot of Ariana Grande songs in the office.
Oh,
yeah. On to happier things.
Happier things.
Zayn Malik, formerly from One Direction,
For our big One Directioners.
yes, for like Freddie, has shaved his hair for the ladies and possibly an upcoming movie role.
You know what show I like? Not show, the song that I like, Night Changes by them. I like it a little bit better acoustic than in the studio. So, again, for 1D fans, Zayn shaved his head. I don't know.
It looks pretty good.
It does?
I don't like long hair on men, so it looks pretty good.
So you're giving the thumbs up, Val?
I give the thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up for Zayn. What's going on now with Miley?
She's a, always up and down, and a lot of it is publicity, but her and Patrick are over for the 10th time or so.
Patrick who?
Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
Something like that.
Okay, so Miley, hop back on the train, and we'll get to the next one.
Freddie's also available for Miley.
Fred is handsome. Let's get a good close-up of him on our screen over there. Wave, Fred, to the camera.
Hi.
But I think he's more fixated with Ariana. And last...
That was all. Oh, well, we have one more. Harry Styles got a tattoo on his thigh. And
tell our listening audience if they don't know who Harry Styles is.
He's also from One Direction, Gregg's favorite band.
Yes.
And also we have recently found out that Full House has a spin-off coming on Netflix called Fuller House. So for all the Full House fans like myself, everybody except the Olsen twins will be in the spin-off.
So Full House is getting fuller. I didn't know that. No,
more full.
Yeah, it's more full. There's stuff. But I mean, this news you can't get anywhere else in the world. So Valerie, I mean, people thought that they were only going to listen about bone marrow, but the news that you gave them is unbelievable, unbelievable. You heard it from Valerie Hernandez. So this is Valerie's news, and we hope to incorporate that every week. What we're going to do, and this is, I don't think our ratings have ever been higher, so I want to leave right now on a high note for a break. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with our campus ambassadors at our schools, and we promise you a great show today. Stay tuned. Gift of Life with Gregg.
ThrowItBetter.com. Do you need help with your bowling game? Are you taking the right 5-step approach? If you want to become a competitive bowler, even a recreational bowler that's considering joining a league, or a league bowler that is considering joining a tournament, you need to see Vince. He's going to show you how to throw it better. He'll get you the right equipment. He'll show you the right approach. And as a certified coach, he'll put you in the best position to succeed. If you're interested, please contact Vince at throwitbetter@gmail.com and tell him that Gregg sent you. Again, that's throwitbetter@gmail.com. Or call Vince at 954-541-5414.
We want to extend a special thanks to our friends at the Boca West Foundation for all the wonderful work they do for Gift of Life and for all the meaningful service they give to the Boca Raton community. For over 3 years, the Boca West Foundation has generously supported local charities in the Boca Raton area. The Boca West Foundation. It's all about the kids. Are you in the market for a health plan? If so, please visit my good friend Gary at Health Plans Unlimited. No plan is too big or too small. Gary will customize a plan that's affordable and comprehensive, just for you. If you're interested, please visit Gary Goldman, the best in the biz, at www.healthplansunlimited.com. Again, that's www.healthplansunlimited.com. Or you can call Gary Goldman directly on his personal line at 954-303-6676. Again, that's 954-303-6676. And tell him that Gregg sent you directly from the Gift of Life. Health Plans Unlimited. We have the health plan for you. Welcome back to the Gift of Life with Gregg, the show that talks about giving and receiving. If you'd like to call into our show, we'd love to hear from you. Please call 888-565-1470. Again, that's 888-565-1470. And now, back to our show.
Welcome back to the Gift of Life, everybody. Hope everybody's having a very happy April 21st, 2015. Right before our break, my lovely assistant Valerie Hernandez and my friend, more importantly, told us what was going on in pop culture, and I got so stunned with the Ariana Grande breakup that we had to take a break, and some One Direction news that just left me speechless. So coming back to reality now, we have a dear friend, a former donor, and a hero to Gift of Life on the phone, a frequent contributor to our show, Nicholas Hudson. Nick, welcome aboard. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Greg, good to hear from you. What's going on? How are you?
Everything is going well. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Sunday at the Boston Walk. I know that it's important for you, especially, and if you want to tell our listening audience why.
Sure. So I'll be there. The little guy that I donated to, Cam, is actually from right outside Boston. I grew up about 20 minutes outside of it, and he was treated at Tufts Hospital, which is right in the heart of the city. So him and his whole family, his little brother, his parents, his aunts and uncles, grandparents, they're all going to be there, and we're going to be walking together, which is pretty exciting. And we're going to go out to eat after and hang out a little bit. So definitely really excited to see him and his family, and I'm sure they're feeling the same. So it'll be a really, really cool moment for me. In addition to everything else that's good that's going on at the walk.
I know it's, Nick, you have information that I share with our listening audience, that the whole inception of the donor-recipient meeting, the genesis of it, was at Boston College, and it's coming full circle back to Boston College area in Chestnut Hill.
Yeah, it really is an incredible story, and shows, the acts of one person really has these incredible effects. And the fact that a drive was put together at Boston College by someone who had lost someone in his family, and then went on to have other people donate from that drive. And one of those people is going to be the recipient at the school where she swabbed and she attended. It's pretty incredible stuff. And I think for everyone who's going to be there, who's going to see it, it'll really show how full circle these events sometimes occur, and how great it is to be able to witness that.
It's tough to visualize over the phone, and we do the best that we could in painting a picture. We have drives now, as we said before, in New York, in New Jersey, here in Boca Raton, in the capital region, Boston, the next year, Chicago. If anybody has the time on one Sunday, and we give people plenty of advance notice, it's incredible, the needle in a haystack story, how a donor and recipient actually come to meet. And that's why we call them partners for life. And Nick, I know that you've been involved in this process, and not only paid it forward with saving somebody's life, but also as your occupation. But what does it mean to you? I believe Cam is 12 now, right?
Yeah, he's turning 12 pretty soon, and yeah, he's in middle school. He's doing great. He's completely healthy. He's playing sports. He's getting in trouble a little bit, so I'm very happy to hear.
No, which I'm happy to hear. Nicholas, at what age? And this is Nick Hudson, Gift of Life employee, former donor, hero, and frequent contributor to the show. If you're interested in calling, again, it's 1-888-565-1470. Again, that's 1-888-565-1470. Now, Nick, you're going to be walking with Cam and his whole family on Sunday at the Chestnut Hill Reservoir. What age was Cameron when you donated for him?
He was a little over 4 years old.
So 4 years old, and the recipient that we're going to be meeting this Sunday is also 4 years old. So miracles do happen, and you just mentioned before, 8 years later, Cameron is 12, getting into a little trouble, which is not the worst thing in the world. And
He's a good kid, though.
he's a good kid. He's healthy. He's playing sports. That's what Gift of Life could bring to the table. And the point that I want to go to with you, Nick, we started a Campus Ambassador program, more commonly known as CAP, the acronym. And what was the genesis behind CAP, Nick?
Grew out of two things, really, the experiences I had, which was that I swabbed when I was in college, and realized that, I never really experienced a lot of drives when I was in school. I think that the only one I ever really saw was the one that I signed up at, and hadn't heard of it before, didn't see it again after, and, started thinking, college kids are the most eligible donors. Why are they not the most likely to see drives, every month that they're in school? It should be a thing that's fairly common. So that was my personal experience with it. And then the other was the other coworker of ours who was at the Boston and was a donor as well, Alec. And he went back when he was finishing up school up in Syracuse. He wound up becoming essentially the first campus ambassador and swabbing about 1,000 people in a week by putting out the word and going to all these events. And for him to do that really showed him that, wow, someone could do this if they really put their minds to it, and they have the backing of an organization that could give them the resources. So it was those two experiences that both kind of led us independently to the conclusion that this should be something that is a program that people can get behind, and certainly one that should be accessible to every college student in the country, no matter where they go and no matter what their schedule is like. They should see bone marrow drives on campus. It should be as common as any other table that's set up in the quad or in their student center.
College is supposed to be the best years of your life. You learn in many cases to live on your own. Hopefully you get skills to develop a vocation. But you could get involved in so many meaningful ways, civically, socially, to help society. And this is really one of those special ways. And Nick, what we're doing with this iteration that's going to be starting in the 2015-2016 academic college year is we're rolling it out. We're going go big or go home, and we're going to be bringing on 100 campus ambassadors or 100 caps. Why 100, Nicholas?
Pretty much the more that you can get, the better. A lot of these schools, they have very, very limited, if any, experience with doing drives like this. So the more drives that we can get on college campuses, the more likely we are to find, high eligibility donors. The reason we say that is because generally donors who are picked to give their bone marrow are between the ages of 18 and 35, and an even greater proportion of that number is from the ages of 18 and 25. So again, the reason we're even concentrating on college donors is not just because they have this time availability where someone who maybe works full-time doesn't, or the mindset that they should be giving back, but also because physically and scientifically, they're most likely to save somebody's life. So when you talk about 100 campus ambassadors, 100 campuses, all of them swabbing, close to 1,000 each, we're talking about a whole lot of people who are suddenly very much more likely to save a life than anybody else on the street, let's say.
And what I want to tell our audience, I know we speak about donors, we speak about patients, we speak about individuals, but Gift of Life could be working with 100 patients at any one time. And we need a lot of donors to save these patients' life. So, Nick, if this program goes according to plan, we could have upwards of 80 to 100,000 highly eligible, highly available donors, which statistically will save lives at a very inexpensive cost.
Exactly. I think there's two other really important reasons why college students are perfect for this kind of program. The first is, like you said, in terms of cost, they're generally a little bit cheaper labor. So we don't have to have a Gift of Life representative in every city, every college, city in the country, every college town. What's more financially responsible is to have someone who actually goes to that school and knows the culture of that school and knows, what has to be done in order to get a table in the quad on a campus, day, on a holiday, anything like that. So that alone makes it worthwhile because you're having very cheap labor who also happens to know the school very well and who can really become, you could make it ingrained in the campus culture itself, the whole culture of saving lives. So that's one big point that you mentioned. Another thing that I think is easy to forget is that, talking about 100 college campuses, it's spread all over the country. We're not concentrating on just the state of Florida or just, the southeast region or the northeast region. We're talking about a national program and one that we hope will spread to even more schools. And I think really building this culture of saving lives and culture of swabbing and making it the norm rather than the exception to the norm is the really the basis for this program and really the goal of this program. To know that change of culture will result in the direct saving of lives is one that I don't think people should take lightly. We think that, if this program is successful, like you said, goes to plan, we're going to be seeing all these drives on campuses for the foreseeable future. And that's a really special thing. And for patients who are in need of a transplant, that's something that should really help them get through the process of searching for a donor.
Nick, you said that very poignantly. What we're trying to do is we're trying to increase our brand. We're trying to increase awareness, and we're trying to do that in as many states to help as many ethnicities as possible. And I think we're canvassing it in a very robust, strategic way. The thing that I also want, if any potential individuals that go to college thinking about getting involved, there's so many tangible and intangible benefits to being a campus ambassador. Number one, you're going to learn marketing. Number two, you're going to learn management, communication skills, time management, infrastructure, operations, and logistics. And they're all transferable skills and will give you a leg up when you go into the job market. So all these things that you could do at a college level while you're getting traditional studies and theoretical studies, they give you the ability to do field work in whatever major that you're studying. And for entry-level students, they generally don't have a lot of job experience. So there's something that we look at on a resume that's called below the line. What have you done civically to better serve your community? And if you have that kind of repertoire in your resume, you probably add more value as a first-year employee. So, Nick, I think that it's another tangible benefit with learning some intangible skills that a campus ambassador could bring to their eventual employer.
Yeah, certainly. That's one of the things that we've been really stressing to applicants is that, this isn't just, you're going to work this part-time job and, you'll work for a few hours and you'll help some people. There's really something that this is going to supplement their education in a lot of practical ways. We Alec and I both said from the beginning, we've both been in that position. We've both worked while we were in college and been on the low on the totem pole and have been, really pressing to them that this is not a thing where you're going to be getting coffee. It's not an internship where you're going to be making copies. This is something that's going to be very active. And quite frankly, they're going to get more independence than they would otherwise get working in any other type of job or type of internship or volunteer position. We're going to be monitoring their progress and monitoring the drives that they do and their development. But at the same time, we're going to be asking them to utilize their strengths. One of the really cool things so far has been interviewing all these applicants and seeing the wide array of backgrounds they come from. And by backgrounds, I mean not just region or not just cultural or religious, but even educational. When we have these 100, they're going to be grouped into essentially like little teams. And the team's going to be based on the school size and the region, but also their strengths. And we hope that, if we have a team of 10, we're going to have one marketing guy, one guy who has a more science background, one person who's in education, one person who's in business, one person who wants to work in nonprofits. And like any other team, they're all going to be able to bring their strengths to the table and have ideas that someone else wouldn't have thought of. For example, the person who is a more medical background might be able to explain the process of donation a little bit better. The person who has a marketing background be able to talk about how they advertise on campus. And to be able, for these kids to go on a job interview in 2 or 3 years and talk about this experience, we feel that it's going to prepare them for the job marketplace much better than sitting in, in a back office and an internship will, and even like most seminars will. This is very active work, and it's something we're really proud to be able to tell them they're going to be doing.
Yeah, and what's interesting for me, I generally don't like to say my title, but I'm also, besides the host of this radio show, the Chief Operating Officer at Gift of Life. And I say this very humbly. I hope to learn more from the campus ambassadors than they do from me, because they're in tune with that demographic that we're really, aspiring to canvas, Nick. So if we could learn from them what they believe are the best traits of recruitment, what makes it successful, then I think that we're going to be a stronger registry. So I think it's a very synergistic relationship. And to echo your point, the way that the cohorts are going to be structured is everybody theoretically will have a different skill set. So there's something that everybody could bring to the table rather than 10 people in finance that may not have significant acumen in another discipline. So I love the way that you're setting it up. I think that it's going to be revolutionary. We're touching all quadrants of this country, and the culmination will be saving more lives. And for anybody that's listening, that if I'm trying to sell you on an internship or a campus ambassador program, I am. You won't be, getting coffee, making copies. You're going to be instrumental in putting a team together and saving people's lives. And I don't know of too many more worthwhile endeavors at that young an age. But, Nick, I have to take a quick break right now. If you could stay on for the next set, I'd appreciate it. And we could go over how to monetize this program. What fundraising efforts do we need, not only from our campus ambassadors, but from our listening audience? Please stay tuned. We'll be back in a few. Gift of Life with Gregg.
Are you in the market for a health plan? If so, please visit my good friend Gary at Health Plans Unlimited. No plan is too big or too small. Gary will customize a plan that's affordable and comprehensive, just for you. If you're interested, please visit Gary Goldman, the best in the biz, at www.healthplansunlimited.com. Again, that's www.healthplansunlimited.com. Or you can call Gary Goldman directly on his personal line at 954-303-6676. Again, that's 954-303-6676. And tell him that Gregg sent you directly from the Gift of Life. Health Plans Unlimited. We have the health plan for you.
ThrowItBetter.com. Do you need help with your bowling game? Are you taking the right 5-step approach? If you want to become a competitive bowler, even a recreational bowler that's considering joining a league, or a league bowler that is considering joining a tournament, you need to see Vince. He's going to show you how to throw it better. He'll get you the right equipment. He'll show you the right approach. And as a certified coach, he'll put you in the best position to succeed. If you're interested, please contact Vince at throwitbetter@gmail.com and tell him that Gregg sent you. Again, that's throwitbetter@gmail.com, or call Vince at 954-541-5414.
We want to extend a special thanks to our friends at the Boca West Foundation for all the wonderful work they do for Gift of Life and for all the meaningful service they give to the Boca Raton community. For over 3 years, the Boca West Foundation has generously supported local charities in the Boca Raton area. The Boca West Foundation. It's all about the kids. Welcome back to the Gift of Life with Gregg, the show that talks about giving and receiving. If you'd like to call into our show, we'd love to hear from you. Please call 888-565-1470. Again, that's 888-565-1470. And now, back to our show.
Happy April 21st, 2015, everybody. Welcome back to the Gift of Life with Gregg. I'm here with special guest Freddie J. Santori today, as well as a new part of our Gift of Life show, The News with Valerie. And Valerie, again, told us some heartbreaking news with the Ariana Grande breakup. So again, and One Direction fans, Zayn shaved his head. So a lot of things going on in pop culture. But on the phone, we have Nicholas Hudson, who was a former donor, current employee, and is going to be walking this weekend at our Boston Walk at Chestnut Hill Reservoir with the boy that he saved, who was 4 at the time and now 12. So it's very exciting. Nicholas, I just wanted to thank you again for all that you've done, and I will be seeing you Sunday morning.
Bright and early.
Bright and early it is, and I think it's going to be very chilly, but we can argue based on the winter that they had and our 80-degree winter. So listen, best of luck for our listening audience. Nicholas recently got engaged, so
congratulations.
Congratulations to best of luck to you and Katie. And Nick, I'll see you on Sunday. I love you, boy. Have a good week.
All right, take care, everyone.
All righty. We have Dana on the line. Dana, welcome to the Gift of Life with Gregg. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Boca Raton, Florida.
So local in the neighborhood. How'd you hear about the show?
I don't know. I listen to the show, every chance I get. I saw it through LinkedIn, actually, and so I started following you guys, and I think it's really great.
Oh, well, we appreciate it. Dana, we have a lot of events that go on in the South Florida area, and if you want to get involved, there's plenty of ways to do so. And we're right down the block. We're on 800 Yamato Road. So if you want to get involved, just call up 1-800-9-MARROW. We have walks in the neighborhood. We have bowling tournaments, ice cream socials. So it's really great. Is there anything that you have on your mind today?
I was just wondering if there were any requirements for being a donor. What are their prerequisites?
Well, first and foremost, they have to be over 18 years of age. They have to be 18 years old. Secondly, They go through a preliminary, let's call it pre-screening. And the pre-screening would identify if you had any medical conditions that would make you ineligible from the onset. Because while our goal is to save patients' lives, we don't want to compromise or put any donor in harm's way. So if you go through the initial, let's call it a pre-screening for lay people's terms, and then what you would do, obviously, if you fit the initial pre-screening of medical conditions that we deem you to be medically fit, you swab the 4 quadrants of your mouth, send it back over to Gift of Life. We register you, send you a link. You fill out the link, and then your kit goes into a repository in a laboratory. Hopefully, you'll get that call to save somebody's life.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's great. Now, just for an example, if I was previously a smoker, a couple years ago, would that hurt my chances of being able to donor?
No. I heard you said previous, so I'm hoping that you stopped.
Oh, yes, of course. Terrible habit.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree, and that's a public service announcement. But so if you do quit smoking, it's a good thing. It's a great thing for everybody. But the point is, smoking would not preclude you, but you would go through, if you were called for what is mentioned to be confirmatory typing, at that point, you would go through a full medical battery, and the patient's physician would deem you to be medically or not medically fit to continue. So again, there are certain precursors that would not allow you to continue. But for those areas, it's i.e. smoking or something, if you took a blood test and some condition may have come back out of the ordinary. It's really at the patient's discretion whether they believe that you're medically fit to move forward.
Okay, wonderful. That's awesome.
And listen, I really appreciate you listening to the show. If you want to get involved, again, it's 1-800-9-MARROW. And we have right now Joel, Anita, John, Corey, any person that you could call could get you involved in whatever vocation you'd like.
That's really great. I'm definitely going to look into that. I'm always trying to get involved, especially I have 2 boys, and I want them to learn the importance of helping others, and this is a great way to do it.
This is a great way, and it's right in your backyard, so no excuses. And you're a lovely caller, so please don't be shy to call in the future.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, have a great day, and thank you for your support. Okay, next on the line, my dear friend and co-host who was just coming back from Chicago. Marty, we miss you in studio. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I know that you were in Chicago last week, and how's the weather, incidentally?
It wasn't too bad.
Oh, that's good.
I survived.
So, no, and we hear your voice, and it sounds as vibrant as ever. So, what brought you to Chicago? Was it a Cubs game?
What's that?
What did you go to see the Cubs play?
I did not see the Cubs play. Instead, I got to see donors and recipients of Gift of Life, as well as volunteers and supporters. Even better. I'd rather see lifesavers than baseball.
I would any day of the week. No, seriously, Marty Freund, my co-host on Gift of Life with Gregg. Marty, what brought you to the Midwest?
Well, there was actually a recipient named Paul who flew in from Australia to meet his donor, Jacob, for the very first time. And it was so nice. The two had met prior to that evening privately, and then we hosted a reception with other donors and recipients and, again, volunteers and supporters in the Chicago area. We actually had about 8 or 9 donors that were there, as well as 3 transplant recipients. So it was a really nice evening.
That's a tremendous event. And what was it like when the recent donor and recipient met?
It was just, as any meeting, left everybody speechless. As the recipient said, Paul said he really didn't have any words to describe how thankful he was for what Jacob had done for him. And Jacob had actually donated twice, and he said that after Jacob donated the first time, he was just in awe of his altruism and modesty. And then when he donated again, he said he was at a complete loss of words that somebody would do this a second time. So
it really reaffirms faith in humanity. It's such a wonderful event, and I know that this is your show on Sunday. You're the one that stewards all of our walks, and I know that there's going to be another great one. It's exciting that it's our first rodeo in Boston.
Yeah, very exciting. Another reason why I couldn't be there today, up to my ears in Boston Walk, which is going to be great.
No, it's exciting. So you've been hitting city after city, and I know next year we have all intentions of having a walk in Chicago. So if people are listening outside there, Marty, do we have a preliminary date as to when we're going to do the walk in Chicago?
No, not yet. We're looking right now into spring of 2016. I hear that the wind off of the lake can be a little rough in the fall, so I'm going to try to avoid that and go in the spring.
Yeah, as a Northwestern student, I could attest that that's true. The winds whip.
I was going to say, to tie back into what you were saying before with college students fundraising, we actually got an email from Northwestern, which you should be so proud about the API chapter fundraising for Gift of Life. So, tying it right back home.
Yeah, go Cats.
It's ambassadors.
No, it's really special, and Nick Hudson was on the line before Marty and was talking about that his recipient was 4 years old when he donated, and now Cameron is 12, and they're going to be walking together and I believe the recipient at the Boston Walk on April the 26th is also 4 years old.
Yes, he is 4 years old.
So I hope that in 8 years we could be talking about that this little boy is in 6th grade and 12 years old and healthy. And that's why we do what we do. Marty, from your walks, do you know approximately how many transplants that we've had?
I know that with funds raised, so I don't know if people are aware, but all of the net proceeds raised at the walk are used to underwrite that $60 cost associated with testing donors. So the walks have sponsored over 4,000 kits to date and found matches for 71 patients.
So found matches for 71 patients, all for a walk. These are the most special walks. Again, we're going to be up bright and early. It's going to be kid-friendly and child-friendly, I should say. Marty, is this a certified 5K?
It is a certified timed 5K.
All right, so if people want to carb up the night before, and Marty, I saw the weather. It's going to be in the low 40s, I believe. So it'll be a nice change of pace for us.
You did. You called me a little frantic on Friday that it was going to rain, but it looks like we're going to be okay.
All right, yeah, I was a little frantic. Forgive me. I'm getting excited for the walk. I love when we're able to help anybody. Children are near and dear to my heart, and again, I expect this to be a wonderful event. I know that you have you're completely understaffed and have a small team wearing 6 different caps. So again, job extremely well done. We're going to have a great time. I just, on the other side of the glass from Ken, got the 1-minute warning. So,
and the last thing I'll say is stay tuned, because maybe next week we'll be able to get the donor and recipient on from the walk. So
I'm certainly hoping that we could do that when we speak Sunday. And again, you'll hear the emotion of people that have never met before but are called partners for life. Marty, I will see you in a few days. Thank you always for your hard work. I look forward to seeing you on the show next week.
you know it.
All righty. Have a good day.
You too. Bye, Val and Fred.
Bye, Marty.
Bye, Marty. All right. So we have 1 minute. It was very exciting, but I'm going to close with something. There were 2 people whose lives were saved, or one person that's life was saved and another individual saved that life. We're going to be meeting them this weekend in Boston. And I know that I'm getting the music to go. Let's save Mario. Let's save Sammy. Let's save Lewis. Let's save the families. We need to get this done. I don't want to see children die unnecessarily. Thank you again for listening. We'll be back on April the 28th. I wish everybody a good week. Go out there, have fun, enjoy your family, enjoy the gift of life, and God bless you all. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to The Gift of Life with Gregg. I wanted to personally say thank you to everyone who participated in today's show. And I also wanted to let you know, if that you're interested in what we do here at The Gift of Life, please call 1-800-9-MARROW. That's 1-800-9-MARROW. Or you can visit our website at www.giftoflife.org. Again, that's www.giftoflife.org. Even though we're wrapping up our show today, remember, you must always unwrap the gift of life.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.